Inside the Triangle, the Decker Truckline Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Triangle. I am your host, Darin Ladlie, and today our guest is Patrice Fourtina. Did I pronounce that right?
You did.
I did. Awesome. Patrice is he was totally in charge of SmartDrive, but now you have another title. What's your new title now?
Director of Driver Development.
How long have you been at Decker Truckline now?
It'll be 3 years in January.
Okay.
So.
Your driving career. Now, I know you're a driver also. So when you were with, you were out in Seattle, I believe, before you came here, and you're driving for JB Hunt, wasn't it? So what is your driving career? What have you done?
I started with CR England. That's where I actually learned how to drive. I drove for them for about 6 months. Then I went into the office doing load planning and dispatch. And then after that, I moved to Nebraska and went with Hill Brothers. I stayed there for about 16, 17 years with them. And then went out to Seattle area with JB Hunt.
So now I know it's hard to tell everybody, but Patrice is not from Iowa. His accent may give him a little bit. He sounds like California, but I think, where are you from, Patrice?
I'm from France.
France, okay.
Originally, yeah.
So how did you end up here in the United States?
That's...
There's no warrants in France for you or anything like that? Okay.
Right. No, I just came to visit and stay there a little longer and went back home and came back and married a girl from California.
Okay. Well, see, I had the California part right.
You did.
So you overstayed your visa is what you're saying?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
That's why I went back to France.
Okay. All right. So how did you get into when you came back? When you first came here, what did you do when you first came here, you said, before you went back?
Well, actually, just visiting. I was in the Air Force over there in France, and I came in to visit. I was in the reserve, and I went to the San Francisco consulate, and from there just visited around and went back after that to France, and then came back here. Now, when I came back here, I have a aeronautical engineering degree, but when I came back here, they wouldn't take any of my credits and things, so I had to find other avenues. So I went into real estate for a while and then transportation.
Okay, so that's how you got it. So was it just an ad you saw in the trucking, like, hey, let's be a truck driver, or what brought you to it?
Actually, for a French guy, visiting the States, all 48 of them, it was neat for me at the time. I mean, we're back in the 80s now, late 80s, so it was something I wanted to do. So I went to school and I said, well, truck driving is going to be good, so I'm going to visit the States, and that's what I did basically.
So explain, what is SmartDrive?
So SmartDrive is actually a audio video system that we have on the trucks. And what it does, it records videos when there's an event that we need to see. And then we receive the videos and we will review them.
So when you say event, what creates an event?
So an event could be actually, for an event to appear or an observation to appear in a video, it has to be a trigger. So a trigger could be anything from hard braking to hard turn to speeding to anything to that nature. And what it does is that the cameras, or we call them event recorders, are on all the time as soon as the trucks are started. And what that does, when there's a trigger, it'll take 20 seconds of video and then send it over to SmartDrive. They review the video. They assign the observation and the trigger. They don't know who's driving. They don't know the company it's coming from. They just assign the observations and the trigger. And then if it fits our guidelines, then it comes back to us, and then we review the videos.
So how many event recorders, do we have in the trucks?
We have two of them. One is facing forward from the top of the windshield, and the other one is facing back from the left of the windshield.
So the one in the front, I believe we try to mostly put it so the driver-facing one is up in the left corner, I believe, of the driver. Because I know I've seen some of the videos, and we can sometimes even catch what's happening in the mirrors, so you can see events. I know eventually, do you think we're going to be going to side view cameras?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. There will be two cameras or event recorders behind the mirrors, actually, and shooting back.
Actually, Tyson Vance, he's going to be playing this week on our deal. We were talking, he watched a video or a seminar or something from Peterbilt, I believe it was, and they're trying to do away with side mirrors, and it will be all done by cameras, and they will have cameras out the side of the truck, so everything will be done that way. So that would tap right into that system. So
right.
So you said they're activated by, I've seen some that are bridge. If you hit a hard bridge or hard bump, it will activate it. Besides the cameras, what other systems do we have for safety in the truck?
Well, we have all the technology on board the truck, the Bendix system. We have a front radar, which is the forward collision warning system. We have the lane departure. We have another radar on the right side of the truck for the blind side. We have roll prevention. We have automatic braking. We have adaptive cruise. I mean, we have a bunch of systems on board. Now, all those systems are not there to replace the drivers, and they're more there to compensate for errors.
Well, and I'm sure, I don't know if you've had it happen to me, but I've actually had the brake applied, in the truck. I'll use it when we do the cargo run, the cruise control. I love it because I set the cruise control, and if you come up on a slower car, it automatically senses and keeps you at that safe distance. Well, It's a lot less hassle than sitting there trying to work it yourself. It just automatically does that. So the part of the SmartDrive system, we have a scorecard that is based off of. Following distance is one of the biggest things. So what kind of following distance are we looking for?
Well, the truck will sense 3.5 seconds, so actually a little more than that, between 4 and 5 seconds, depending where you are. But at 3.5 seconds, there's a buzzer, and that's part of the Wingman Fusion system by Bendix. And it will alert you that you're at 3.5 seconds. And that's when the score the event start to be scored. So if you are 3.5 and closing, then you will get penalized for being that close to the car. Now, it does work even if you are being cut off by a car. So let's say you have 7 seconds of following distance, and then you get cut off by a car. Now you have 3 seconds or 2 seconds. As long as the distance is increasing between you and that car, the buzzer won't come on.
Yep, I can attest to that. Yep.
Right. But if you close the distance or if you stay there, then the buzzer will come on.
So, and I know the side one is very nice. It's a blind spot, kind of what it is so if you're driving down the side and there's a car in your blind spot, you have a light that flashes up on the pillar on the passenger side, which is very handy. I love that system. Plus, it beeps at you to let you know also. Hopefully, it lessens our side. I don't think I've heard too many side crash issues of blind spots. Have you lately?
Lately not, but we had a few, yes.
Yes, well, everybody has a few, that's for sure. So how is that information sent to the company? How does it go from the truck to SmartDrive and then to us?
So there's a controller inside the truck, and that's where we store the videos. We have 120 hours of storage, and then what it does, it'll take, like I said, 20 seconds of video and then send it over, upload it to the network to SmartDrive. From there, after they review it and assign the observation and things, then they'll send it over to us, and then it gets in the queue. So we come in the morning, and we have, this morning actually, we had only 11 videos from yesterday, so that's really good. But usually it's an average between 60 and 80 a day. On the weekend, maybe more than 100. But that's where it stores. And then what we do, we review the videos every day. So we take one video and it'll give us the observation, following distance or whatever. We review the video. If when we review it, if we see that the driver is doing everything he can to increase his following distance or whatnot, then we can eliminate the points, so we can dismiss the points.
Well, and the one thing I like, I've watched this film, is it also tells you all the engine parameters on it too. Tells you if you're giving it load, you're giving it power, have you got the cruise on, how hard are you applying the brake, what's your speed, what your RPM is. I mean, it outlays everything, which is very handy when you're trying to determine what's going on.
Yeah, it has also a chart under the video where it shows the G-forces on the truck. So like for hard braking or turning or something like that. So we'll see like a load shift. We'll see, how fast the truck is braking and things like that. So we can pinpoint what it is, if it's, hard braking or if it's, something else.
So, and I know a lot of drivers worry, especially I've had this happen with a lot of couples. They're worried that we're watching them while they go down the road. There's no way you can watch this camera live. It just can't be done, because it's done over I believe it's Verizon is how the information, it's all cellular sending and receiving and everything. So how often do you hear that?
I hear that less and less, but I still hear it once in a while. I can assure you that at 3 o'clock in the morning, I am sleeping. I'm not watching movies. So
You're not watching the drivers drive at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No. But we tell the drivers that, when they take their breaks, or even at shipper or receiver, they can, when they turn the truck off, they can shut the camera off, the one facing the cab, by dialing on the keypad, and then that will shut it off. They also can cover the cameras or the event recorder, and then make sure that they are uncovered when they start driving. Yeah,
that keypad in the truck, I believe it's 999 is to go into down mode, sleep mode or whatever. Mm-hmm. It also, I used it actually this weekend. I forgot to tell Matt. The truck was doing something weird. So we have what's called a panic button on it. So if you're into a situation that is not safe and you want to know, okay, I'm not sure what's going on here, I want the company to see what's going on, you can hit that panic button and it automatically sends it to you guys?
It does, and actually we'll receive it faster than if it was just a regular recording. However, I tell the drivers not to push the button too often, because if they are in a situation where they're following too close or whatnot, then they'll be scored on that too. And so they need to be careful with that. But yeah, you're right, they can trigger an event just by pushing the panic button, we call it.
So once you see a video, if there's something you're catching, not wearing a seatbelt, following too close, whatever it is, what do you and your assistant, what do you guys do?
So Lindy is my assistant, and so what we do is this: we look for a pattern. So anybody can have a bad day, and you can have a following distance issue or whatnot. I was talking to the driver yesterday. He had a score over a 12-week period is between 0 and 12. So a really, really good driver. And this week it jumped to 101. And he had 2 or 3 following distance events. So I look for a pattern. So if it's just a bad day, well, it's a bad day. But if it's a pattern, then we'll address that. So typically I looked at 4 weeks of data and see where they stand. So if they have a following distance issues, then we'll call the driver, talk to him over the phone, and then if needs be, we'll bring the driver in and then sit down and watch the tape. Kind of what football players do after a game. They sit down and kind of watch the tape and say, we could have done this a little better or whatnot. I look at SmartDrive as a tool to get better. I don't look at SmartDrive as a finger pointing device saying, hey, you know what, don't do this, back off, whatever, slow down. I just sit down with the driver. We talk about how they can be more successful on the road. And from there, we talk about SmartDrive and things that we can improve.
Well, and I've been in there and talked to drivers before with the SmartDrive video, and they're adamant that no, I'm not doing this. Now, when you present it to them and you just see their whole face sometimes just change, like, wow, I didn't realize I was doing this. And we've had, you are the silver tongue devil, I'll tell you that, because when you talk to these guys a lot of times, I mean, you have turned around a lot of drivers that we didn't think they could change. And your coaching and teaching and them watching that videos has did it.
I agree with that, but I'm not doing the work. They are. I mean, we can guide them, but they're still doing the work. And I think they have done outstanding the last 2.5, 3 years that we had that system installed now. Our score actually came down from 562. I remember the score when we first started as a company, it was 562 points, which is really high in nowadays. And now, as of today, our score is at 53, which was our target score that we set 3 years ago.
Awesome.
So, I mean, they're doing really good, no doubt.
And we pay a bonus on SmartDrive. If your score is 20 or below, you can earn a penny a mile for every mile you run. So what goes into that score? Is it like, I know you talked a little bit about following distance and things, but overall, can you give us an overlay of how the score is tallied?
So every event is scored. So we have different score for different event. For example, following at less than 1 second is the highest score you could get, would be 350 points. And then from there, it kind of, go down, if you will. So like if you following at between 3 and 4 seconds, the score is 49 points. So you can see the difference between 2 seconds of separation, 1 second or less, 350 points, 4 seconds or 3 and 4 to 4 seconds, 49 points. So you can see the spread right there. It's pretty significant. So everything is tallied for the week. So depending on how the driver drives the week before and collect the points, that Saturday night at midnight, they tally all the points. And what they do is they divide the points by the number of hours the driver has been driving. So the more you drive and the less impact those points have on your score. We take a 4-week spread for the points. So it's not just 1 week, but it's 4 weeks. And then the following week, the fourth week falls off, if that makes sense. I don't know, but it makes sense to me anyway. But anyway, so that's how the score is calculated.
Kind of like your logbook when you're running on recaps. Right. I got this many hours, I get back. It's kind of the same thing. Right. So what issues do you mostly see drivers struggle with out there nowadays?
You mean as far as events?
Yes.
That would be probably number one is following distance. But we see less and less at 1 second of following distance. So now it's more 2 to 3 seconds. But a year ago, or not even that, it was less than 1 second. We still see some of that, obviously, but it has decreased. Second one would be the speeding. So drivers will speed downhill usually. So we geared at 68 on the cruise. They'll leave the cruise at 68 and go downhill and, climb up to 80 or more, and our speed limit as a company is 70 miles an hour. And there are good reasons why we have that. But, it's the thrill of the speed, I guess.
So you bring that up. So like big city driving. So a lot of Chicago, a lot of LA, Dallas, Atlanta. Do you see that impacting their scores at all when you're stuck into a lot of that city driving?
No, what's surprising is that the following distance in big cities is way less than what it is out in the middle of nowhere. If you're in Chicago, first of all, the system out in the middle of nowhere, we are at 3.5 seconds for the first buzzer to come on. Well, when you go 37 miles an hour or less, then we're down to 1.5 seconds for the buzzer to come on, for the first buzzer. But we have a different perception of following distance. When we're out in the middle of nowhere, we have that distance that we see in our mind that is safe to us. Well, that same distance is what we take when we're in town or in big cities. And now we're going way slower in big cities. So now we have more distance. And therefore our distance increases basically because we measure the distance in time, not in feet. So, 3 seconds out in the middle of nowhere, you cover more distance than 3 seconds in town at, 37 miles an hour or even, 40 miles an hour. So we see less events in big cities than we do out in the middle of nowhere.
Now I know, is there anything you wanted to add on SmartDrive that we may have missed?
That's basically SmartDrive in a nutshell.
That's what I was going to say. SmartDrive in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay. It is a heck of a system. It's been it was kind of like when e-logs came out. Everybody went kicking and screaming. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Now, I think drivers have really become quite adapted to it. And I've even had owner-operators that want to put the forward-facing cameras in the trucks because they realize how it could save them in a situation. I mean, how many incidents have you seen where, we probably would have been sued and in big trouble and the camera saved our life?
That's right. And then we don't need witnesses anymore. We have the video. So, it has helped us a lot in accidents. Also, we know when we get in an accident, we're at fault. We know it right away. So we don't have to argue or anything like that. We just, hey, you know what? We're at fault.
Saves us millions of dollars in litigation because, I've seen it for a fact. A long-term driver of ours. It was a car pull out in front of me, and no, it was you on your phone texting. So, we could have spent millions of dollars fighting that for him and then lost. Where we messed up. You did. So, Patrice, you've just instituted a new program called ART. What is ART?
ART stands for Ambassador and Resource Team. And what it is, it's a team, an office employee, and a driver. And usually a seasoned driver that has been around for a while and has a good record with the company, not just driving, but in general. And what they do is they follow a new driver coming through orientation. They follow them for a period of 3 months. We want to make sure that the transition for that driver is what they expected. I mean, they hear a lot of things, before they come on board, and we want to make sure that it's going to last. And therefore, they'll follow them for 3 months. They'll call them every week, see how they're doing, reinforce some things they learn in orientation. We want to make sure that they understand communications, safety, benefits, when to sign and when to sign up and all that. So that's basically kind of a mentorship program, but we try to make it a little more fun, I guess.
Well, so a lot of the drivers that you're using, plus there's an office staff person, usually a higher, I think Michael Arrett does it, and some of the VPs. The drivers, most of them, are they former driver trainers because we don't really have any training that we do anymore. Is a lot of the guys stepped up for that, the former trainers?
Actually, we have a few that are former trainers, but most of them are drivers that have been around for a while with Decker. They understand the system. And most importantly, they are willing to do that. They are willing to help a driver, with a transition or get better at what they do. So I think to me, that's what's phenomenal is that they are willing to do that, and that's a big thing.
All right, so little rapid fire questions. I got some for you here. All right, so what's your best vacation? And I know you better say the one I'm thinking of, because I think you and Abby just went on one here about a year ago.
We did.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, we went and visited the motherland, France. So yeah, we obviously to me that would be the best spot, but I'm a little biased when it comes to France.
So what is your favorite meal?
Favorite meal, that would be a flat iron steak on the grill with French fries.
Wow, okay. I thought it'd be something different. I really did. I was waiting for frog legs or something. No. Escargot.
There you go.
I tried that. It's not good. And you had a recent addition to your family here not too long ago. How's that going?
It's doing really good. That's Willow, our little dog. So we actually, funny story, but we, Tanner and I went to get a truck in Minnesota, and we were waiting for road service there at the truck stop, and right across was a shelter, so an animal shelter. So I said, hey, let's go over there because we've been looking for a dog and stuff. So we went to the shelter and we found Willow. Or she found us actually. But
well, you could thank me because I'm the one that sent Tanner after that truck. So yeah, so
well, thanks.
You're welcome. I remember when Abby first brought that dog in, I was like, oh wow, yeah, you got your hands full with this one.
Yeah.
So, in closing, anything you'd like to say to the drivers out there? Any advice? Any words of wisdom?
Well, actually, I just want them to be as successful as they can be. If there's anything that we can help them with, don't hesitate to give a call. Whether it's scorecard, safety score, whatever it is, we want to help. So they deserve every penny of what they do, just because they're sacrificing a lot, and we really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So whatever I can do to help, please give us a call.
And I can't say this enough. The training that we want to give you guys, don't be afraid to come in and ask for help if you need it. Patrice and Lindy they have no problems going over the videos with you guys, helping you as much as they can. I see you probably average at least 1 or 2 a day in there, almost going through there trying to help them. We want to make you a safer, better driver. We want you to earn the money, and this is the best way to do it. Don't be afraid to ask. It never hurts. Well, thank you, Patrice, and hopefully we'll talk to you again in the future, okay?
Thank you, Darin.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, Patrice, and appreciate all you do here, and keep up the great job. Now we're going to get into the Drivers of the Month for August. We have 6 categories, and I'd like to announce the winners and the nominees for each division. For the West Reefer Division, we have Nicola McClendon. She was the winner. Chad Hazelton was the nominee. Our Midwest Reefer, Maximus Lafont, was the winner. David Bodel, a nominee. Steve Alliger, a nominee. Midwest Flatbed, Nathan Eckhoff was our winner. Southern Flatbed, Jacob Royal, winner. And John Collin, nominee. Our owner-operator, lease purchase contractor of the month was Sean Swallows. Our team drivers of the month was Gene and Kim Gang. So congratulations to all you guys. You are now in the running for the Grand Champion of the Year. Like I was just talking to Katie, we're only 100 days away from 2021. So let's get this 2020 over with. I am all for that. Scorecard bonuses. We had 43 drivers receive perfect 1,000 scores. Great job, guys. Overall results, we had 176 company drivers receive bonuses for a little over $40,000. We had 31 owner-operators receive bonuses for just a little over $8,800. For the SmartDrive bonus for the month, we had 151 company drivers receive a bonus for a little over $12,000. And 7 owner-operators received the SmartDrive bonus and for just a little over $600. In total, Decker Truck Line paid out $62,576.70 in bonuses for the month of August. So, guys, you know how the criteria, we've gone over it. If you've listened to my podcast before, we tell you how the breakdown is for the scorecard. Now we just went over SmartDrive. It's out there for you. If you have any questions, scorecard, ask your driver manager. If you have any questions, it comes out, we give a heads up that it's there, ask about it. Call me, call Jason. We'll help you with whatever you need to do. We'll tell you where you're missing, what we got to do to make it better. Patrice is there for the SmartDrive. Don't be afraid to call. Let's make us all better drivers and get you guys some more money in your pockets. All right, I wish you well, and we will talk to you again a little later. As always, thank you for listening to Inside the Triangle. Don't forget to subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening on. That way you will know when the new episodes drop. And remember, submit your questions to podcast@deckermail.com and you could be featured on one of our upcoming episodes. The best way to do this is to create a voice memo on your smartphone, record your question, and email it to podcast@deckermail.com. Once again, thank you for listening. Stay driven to be the best.